All right, let's get you hired. You've landed that big cybersecurity interview, and you just know the question is coming. So, tell me what you know about identity and access management. Well, over the next few minutes, we are going to build your perfect answer piece by piece, so you can walk into that room with absolute confidence. Let's do this. First things first, let's set the stage. Why is IAM so incredibly important? It all boils down to this one question. Just think for a second about all those massive, headline-grabbing breaches. What's that common thread? That one weak link attackers just love to exploit. The answer, nearly every single time, is compromised identities. We're talking stolen passwords, forgotten accounts, privileges that should have been revoked ages ago. You see, at its core, modern cybersecurity isn't about building a bigger wall anymore. It's about knowing exactly who is inside your walls and what they should be allowed to touch. And that, right there, is the job of identity and access management. So here's our game plan for crafting that perfect answer. We'll kick things off with the core definition. Then we'll walk through the identity lifecycle, untangle two terms everyone confuses, look at governance, and finally tie it all into modern tools before we put it all together. First up, let's nail the definition. Seriously, if you can't explain what IAM is, clearly and concisely, nothing else you say is going to matter. This is the absolute bedrock of your answer. And really, it all comes down to this one powerful mission statement. Every single policy, every tool, every process in the world of IAM is designed to get these 5 rights correct. It's all about making sure access control is perfectly precise. Okay, now this is where you can really show you know your stuff. There's a key distinction here between IAM and IGA, or Identity Governance and Administration. Think of it like this. IAM is the operational how someone logs in, how access is granted. But IGA, that's the strategic should, as in, should this person even have this access to begin with? Knowing this difference is a huge plus. And here's a fantastic way to put it in an interview. Super simple, super powerful. IAM is the engine that gives out the keys. IGA is the oversight committee that controls, reviews, and approves to the auditors that the right people have the right key. So to make this all feel a bit more real, it really helps to think of IAM as a story, a journey that every single employee goes on. This isn't just some abstract tech. It's about managing a person's digital life inside a company from day one to their very last day. And this story has 3 main chapters. First, you're a joiner. The second, HR puts you in the system. Automated IAM tools should provision exactly the access you need for your job, nothing more. Then you become a mover. You get promoted. You switch teams. IAM then modifies your access, taking away old permissions and adding new ones. And finally, the most critical step, you become a leaver, and your access needs to be shut off instantly. So what happens when that final leaver step gets messed up? You get these, orphan or dormant accounts. These are active accounts just floating around with no owner, like digital ghosts of former employees. For a hacker, finding one of these is like finding the front door wide open with the key just sitting in the lock. It's a massive, massive vulnerability. And that just hammers home the danger, doesn't it? The longer an account stays active after someone leaves, the wider that window of opportunity becomes. It doesn't matter if it's a disgruntled ex-employee or a hacker who stole their old password, failing to deprovision immediately is basically rolling out the welcome mat for a breach. All right, so that brings us to the actual nuts and bolts of access, authentication and authorization. They sound alike, I know, but they are 2 totally different steps in the process. And in an interview, you've got to get them right. First up, authentication. This is all about proving you are who you say you are. Think of it as the bouncer at the door checking your ID. We do this with a few different factors. Something you know, like a password, something you have, like your phone for a push notification, and something you are, like your fingerprint. And multi-factor authentication, or MFA, well, that just means we're combining 2 or more of those to make it way more secure. So, once the bouncer lets you in, the system has to decide what you're actually allowed to do. That's authorization. The classic way is role-based access control, or RBAC, where your access is tied to your job title. Simple. But the more modern, super granular way is ABAC, which can make decisions based on all sorts of things like your location, the health of your device, even the time of day. Most places today use a mix of both. And if you want a killer line to drop in your interview that perfectly sums up the business value of all this is it. Fast provisioning on day 1 makes people productive right away. Fast deprovisioning on their last day prevents breaches. A good IAM program has to nail both sides of that coin, speed and security. Okay, so we've talked about giving access, but now we gotta talk about the layer on top of that, governance. These are the rules, the oversight, and the proof that shows everything is working the way it's supposed to. This is the stuff that keeps auditors happy and the company out of trouble. A huge part of governance is the access review. This is where, on a regular basis, managers get a report that shows exactly who on their team has access to what, and they have to sign off on it. This is so important because it's the #1 defense against something called privilege creep. Where people just keep collecting more and more access over time until they're way overprivileged. And what about the keys to the kingdom? The super powerful admin accounts. For those, we need an even higher level of control. That's privileged access management, or PAM. The whole idea here is to get rid of permanent, always-on admin rights. Instead, an admin has to check out those high-level privileges just in time for a specific task, and everything they do is recorded. Okay, let's zoom out. How does all of this fit into the big picture of modern security? Let's connect the dots to some of the tools and strategies you'll see out there in the real world. I guarantee you've used single sign-on, or SSO. You log in once to your company portal, and boom, you're in all your apps. But here's why it's a security game changer. For us, it's great. Fewer passwords to remember. But for the security team, it gives them one central place to enforce security policies. And most importantly, one button to push to cut off all access when someone leaves. And all this leads directly to maybe the biggest strategic shift in security today: zero trust. The old model was a castle and moat. If you were inside the network, you were trusted. Zero trust throws that out and says, nope, never trust, always verify. Every single request has to be checked. And in that world, you don't really have a network perimeter anymore. Your identity is the new perimeter, which makes strong IAM the absolute foundation of any zero trust strategy. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground, right? From the basic mission statement and the employee lifecycle to the nuts and bolts of access and how it all connects to modern security. Now let's put all those pieces together into that one perfect job-winning answer. So when they ask you, what do you know about IAM? You can look them in the eye and say something just like this. IAM and IGA work together to ensure secure and compliant access. They manage the entire identity lifecycle, from joiner to leaver, handling both authentication, proving who you are, and authorization, what you can do. While IAM actually enforces the access, IGA provides the governance to ensure it's appropriate and auditable. Ultimately, a strong IAM program is foundational for reducing risk and enabling a modern zero-trust security posture. So there you have it. You've got the framework, the key terms, the big picture. You're not just ready to answer the question anymore. You're ready to lead the conversation. You've got this. Now go prove it.